afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, March 2/9, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call tonight at around 9 p.m. Eastern. How many people, maybe yourself at one time or another in this lifetime alone, that we feel that we somehow have gotten pulled into a feeling of falling off of the path, right? Not believing that we're on the right path, or something that doesn't feel right, and that we're just not on the right path. And what is that connected to? Well, the frail, egoic human persona takes over, and we tend to get wrapped up in identifying ourselves. And you run across this all the time. This isn't a sparse understanding or experience with this civilization. It's pretty prevalent. But we identify ourselves as small and limited and powerless and time-bound beings who are temporarily imprisoned in a physical human form. And the human experience, for all of us, it can hypnotize us into believing that we are lost, poor, insecure, unhappy, or simply off track. Now the positive news is that the truth is always much bigger than our mind can any way, shape, or form fathom. And whenever we perceive this life to be some random, challenging, confusing experience, you take an afternoon to digest what I'm going to share with you. It could be any afternoon, because this will open up the inner avenues of connection so that you reestablish a heartfelt relationship with your spiritual essence. And you soon discover the all-powerful, magical, manifesting being that you truly are. And I guess you say you can rediscover that. So you want to open up the doorway to meeting your sacred soul. And that starts with feeling into your basic core nature. In other words, who are you at the very innermost core level? Well, you're pure consciousness. We say things like the God, your consciousness, soul, we go on and on. So we are at our innermost core level, super powerful divine beings, and exploring these it exposes you to become the highest authority of your reality and your life. Doesn't that resonate well? It should, because every one of us are the highest authority of our reality and our lives. It's where you decide what is real and what is not. You're the one who is constantly seeing, believing, and perceiving the reality you think is true. And the mind is always right about what it believes is real. It's never wrong about what direction it's thinking and believing. It's like, I've talked with people who they feel they have the so-called fallen off the deep end, right? And they believe, 3 plus 3 is 9. And the mind will be very righteous about that. Because I know people like this. The mind is all coiled up in an old habit of making up fantastic stories about who and what you are and are not. And when this mind drops, you drop into your core basic nature. Mindless, still, and free from all thought, period. Mindless means you're not in the mind. If you're not in the mind, you're free from all thought. Now, the mind will still try to say that you are not enough of this and too much of that. But once you identify for yourself, you will say to yourself, I don't care to listen to the mind. I care to listen to my heart instead. And there is an unlimited field of loving, deep energy in your heart, which is the doorway to having a full body, deeply healing, spiritual awakening experience. The next step to revealing your soul is found within this space-time continuum. It's like one might ask themselves, where would the soul reside if it was simply resting and relaxing at the center of you? Where specifically and exactly is the core of you? When we look within ourselves, where in space and time is the very center of this thing called you. When you find it, rest for many hours in that space. You'll discover that you are pure, powerful, perfect, sweet, complete consciousness. You are the source of divine perfection. See, all of us, and now it has nothing to do with how we portray ourselves superficially, right? How we exact ourselves in body, right? Physical form. Has nothing to do with that. So this is why so many people are fooled. The more we can relax into our center, the easier it becomes to realize there never was anything wrong with you or any of us. That was all just a big fancy show of the mind, fabricating new stories again and again and again. Your soul is beyond the mind. Always has been, always will be, ever beyond and forever. It is the ever-present, eternal witness at the core essence of you. And is always there, always available, and ready to be explored. See, this is the inner journey everyone is seeking. It's the one that can take lifetimes to discover. And until we find it, we will not know deep, everlasting peace. But don't worry. It is predestined for every one of us that we will find our soul. This spiritual stream of sacredness, it follows us wherever we go. when we can really relax, how many, if you ask yourself, right, do I really deeply relax? Which means you let go all of your thoughts, all of the static, all of the noise, all the worry, stress, fear, anxiety. You let everything go. You surrender it. How do you do that? Well, you go into the now. You focus on your breath. You get into a very comfortable, still position, and you sink into your body. So we're relaxing into the core of our being, deeply. The eyes of the soul begin seeing through us. We can perceive the universal spiritual path within the mundane and understand how it's truly impossible to screw up this life. How hard you try, you're not going to be able, you will not succeed in screwing up this life. When we relax, we begin to truly trust life, this life. See, when you're not relaxed, there aren't many people that trust this life, and therefore they don't trust themselves, and they don't trust the universe. It may be on a subconscious or an unconscious level, or a conscious level, any of them. We can feel like we have an infinite amount of time, energy, resources, creativity, and knowledge to get it right. Only in a few, in a very deep relaxation, can we surrender enough to bathe in our soul's true eternal essence. The ego mind are set on the back burner when this happens. This is where you begin to realize that you can master the ego mind. There is no second guessing about if we have arrived in the parking lot of our soul or not. It's so obvious. It's like the difference between knowing the sun is shining or not. There's only this pure feeling of knowing and getting that we are all unlimited, unbounded, perfect beings, connected in each moment to an infinite stream of conscious, intelligent energy. That's a mouthful. And it's embracing that. It's a choice for all of us. If you're in the ego mind, you're going to say that's just, no way, Jose. That's all made up stuff. You're not in the ego mind. You'll embrace it. The soul makes us wake up. Realize that we can do the impossible. Its energy is so powerful, eternal, and cannot be changed. The more we relax into this understanding, the more we stop fighting with our mind and its list of unfulfilled desires. We simply give up following our thoughts blindly around and begin relaxing beneath them into the quiet solitude underneath the mind, which makes everything in this life more interesting and less challenging than it needs to be. The third understanding is to unveiling your spiritual amazingness. is in the practice of a thing called trust. This universe is always protecting you. It's always protecting all of us, helping us, serving our highest good. It has never abandoned us or you. It is always here assisting to blaze through our challenges, find our greatest possible joy in this life. And when we trust in this process, everything changes in our perception and reality. This universe is conspiring in your favor, our favor. It wants what you want. Be a pronoiac, not a paranoiac. Just notice what it feels like to sit back and relax into the feeling of trusting in this universe and knowing it is guiding you. When we practice the trust vibe, we can listen easily to the subtle hints from this universe. They're always coming to us. We know our life purpose and spiritual direction. We know it. We know it, really know it. And we stop ignoring it. The trusting signs are there. Just look for them. Take heed. And stop getting in the way of your highest possibility. It is in trusting this universe that we can give ourselves permission to manifest the most amazing, miraculous life we could ever imagine. We actually get what we truly want through trusting. We stop settling for a fear-based, rushed lifestyle that really, we really don't desire. And it's up to any of us, all of us, right now to take time to settle yourself into the energy of trust. Practice it. Go into it. Breathe it into your body. See, you know what happens? You'll trust something. We've all been there. None of us are exempt from it. We trust something. We want to trust something. But due to how we have manifested and creating things throughout our life, our expectations and attachments, all plays a role through the ego mind. And then what happens? We have this thing called what? You have trust, right? You trust. When you say to somebody, I've known you for years and years and years, I totally trust you. No doubt whatsoever. See, that's the feeling and understanding that you want to carry full boat, the whole broad spectrum of everything. Okay? Now, a lot of us will go, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to trust this. Obviously, you'll see things, it's just common sense. It's kind of like, there's no way, Jose. You feel the trust inside your heart. Practice it. Breathe it into your body. Feel it inside your heart. Practice this one all day long, all night long. Notice how good this feels. See if you can notice how many ways this universe is guiding, assisting, and protecting you in the next 48 hours. It is an amazing feeling when you can remain in the state of trust all week long, as it is this energy which opens the door to let your soul's full presence to come flying through. The fourth understanding is to discovering your soul comes from recognizing and letting go of your fears. Discovering your soul comes from recognizing and letting go of your fears. You take the time, right? Wherever you may be. It doesn't matter. You could be, driving somewhere. I would say let's just say that you're in the grocery line, right? Find out what you're truly afraid of in life, and it dawns upon you. Look deep inside and face whatever old dark demons are inside you. They are just you hiding from your own soul. Your fears are not meant to haunt you and stay with you forever. That is not their purpose. Now, when you are not facing your fears every day, then they are not fully serving you. You're meant to work with fear, push up against it, so that you expand your sense of self and grow beyond it. You release your attachment to what the fear means and realize each one is merely a ridiculous, misguided thought. It's a great way to put it, a ridiculous, misguided thought. Give yourself fully over to being a fearless human being. By facing every fear that arises, you get to know your true warrior self as an all-loving, all-powerful, fearless, multi-dimensional spiritual being with unlimited potentiality. That's what we really are. Who knew the darkness would lead us to the light? And with just a little exploration, and our daily journey home becomes a very sacred healing process. What is the journey home anyway? What is that? Well, it's when every one of us discover, everyone else discovers, who and what we are. That's when you know you're really home. This is a good quote from L. Ron Hubbard. And it's interesting about L. Ron Hubbard, he never wanted to have any kind of religion. He was researching the brain. Only you can say where the road goes. Everyone sets their goals for the hour, for the relationship, and for every phase of life. Only you. The fifth understanding to uncovering your sparkling, bright soul comes from retraining your brain to be alert and remain focused only on that which you truly desire. You know, how many times, right, have you been asked this, or have you asked yourself, what do you want in this life? Right? I've asked a lot of people that through years, and a lot of them, their response is, I've never thought about it. See? I've never really thought about that. And what you want wants you to have it. And when you can keep your mind focusing on what you want and off of what you don't want, the most amazing things will manifest in your presence. See, but we don't do that for the majority, mostly. We focus on what we don't want, and it's not like we do it on purpose. So I'm going to focus on what I don't want. We focus on it because it's our habit. We've accepted it to be the natural way. Do you believe that nobody, it's like nobody wants to hear what's on your long list of complaints? You ever been around somebody, okay, that you don't, okay, so you can say you don't know them, right? And so you have the opportunity to start talking with them, interacting with them. Maybe in a social setting. You start to notice that everything is negative. It's subtle at times and right in your face at other times. You might say, well, that's a nice outfit you're wearing. Oh, this old thing? Well, I didn't have anything else to wear, so I just threw this on. Okay? Things like that. And the point is that nobody wants to hear what's on your long list of complaints. You put your kingdom of don't wants up for sale. You recalibrate your mind to meditate on what you do desire. Kind of recalibration, you're tuning, see? For a long time, the tune was focused on what you did not want. All you're doing now is you're recalibrating everything, your mind, to meditate on what you do desire. What are those things? Only you know that make your heart sing. Nobody else really knows that. Deep down inside, you're the only one that will know that. The simple refocusing of the mind on what you want in this life, it's incredibly powerful and transformative. Once the mind comes around to the conclusion that as long as it's focusing on what it doesn't want, it's never going to be happy. Then it starts to rely more on what? Well, on pure awareness to liberate it. Now, to understand something is that the mind is already deeply trained and programmed to rewind and replay the same 60,000 thoughts it had yesterday. It doesn't like to deviate from the norm. And yet, when you redirect it to remain focused on what you want to think about all day long, your soul peeks through and opens everything up, like a flower meeting the first morning rays of sunshine. You come to feel the amazing warmth that's inside your being. This is the day you truly know your soul intimately. And it will show everyone in the most natural, unassuming way the all-powerful, deeply eternal, loving being you already are. A good quote from Osho: don't waste your life for that which is going to be taken away. Trust life. Trust God. If you trust, only then can you drop your knowledge. Only then can you put your mind aside. And with trust, something immense opens up. Then this life is no longer ordinary. It's no longer an ordinary life. It becomes full of God overflowing. You're the God, see? That's what you are, the God. You and that body are the God overflowing. All these things that we've been programmed to believe throughout the ages, they do accomplish things, right? What do? They keep us from discovering who and what we are. That's not, there's no debating that. There's no contest there. I believe that we all know that. Does it make any sense that so many people on this planet, they put everything on things that are going to be taken away? All their energy, all their attention on things that will be taken away. And you're not sitting, you're not judging anybody. It's just, that's how some of us choose to go, based upon the deep programming we have received. We have can you feel the openness of the God that you are in that body? Just there. I mean, automatically. You know, you've heard the statement, our cup runneth over with the God that we are within these bodies. So it's kind of like we're going along in this life, and we're the God in the body, and we're going, I'm not going to visit that right now. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in out there. Because when you look at it, and you begin to understand, without judging yourself, being hard on yourself, being kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times, you begin to realize is that I have been seduced by the material physical world while I've been in this body. Ask yourself, when was the last time that you can remember in this lifetime that you were completely content? Okay? Now, all of us have had times like that. We didn't identify them. We didn't say, well, okay. We experienced them. So in the quiet time of this meditation, focus on that time that you felt completely content. There was nothing there, okay, that was motivating you to have to get something, be somewhere, be someone, all of that. That you were just completely content with everything, exactly the way it was at that point in time. Now, once you experience that feeling again, that's because when you do, you'll understand the ego mind's not there. Okay, it's gone. Doesn't exist there. Wanting, needing, having, getting, it's not there. Mind chatter's not there. That 60,000 thoughts is not there. Because you're completely content. Exactly the way you are in that very moment. And everything else. Now, when you can do that in the very now moment, and you start practicing that to be in that all the time. And I'm not saying that you can overnight it. I'm saying that you can get to, you can move yourself into the understanding of being in that always. And then you see how you feel. And then you feel your true freedom. And love and peace and joy and bliss and happiness all comes gushing out. Once you have that feeling, and then you know how to focus on it and manifest it more often than not, you will be in love with the God that you are 24/7. whole life, whole perspective will completely change. Join you in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Totally surrender to who is. This universe will always support you in revealing who you are, who you were, whomever you reinvent yourself to be. Your job is to have fun on this joyride and let your light shine its most brilliant flavors and colors onto the world. And notice how your soul opens naturally. Your heart is effortlessly beaming out its brightest light. Relax, be still, shine on. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We'll return here tonight, Friday, March 29, 2024, around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Reverse Aging Health Call. And Saturday, March 30th, 2024, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our Global Guided Meditation Call. Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or around you.